So here we have a quick video of the enclosure build and rehouse for Fluffy, my Tliltocatl albopilosus, common name being the curly hair tarantula, and Fluffy is the Nicaraguan form. The substrate I'm putting in here is a mix of soil and sand and cocoa fibre. I use that for a lot of my species that prefer a drier environment. I've got a larger replica of Fluffy's old hide there. She seems to like that. So I'm just trying to layer the substrate around the hide at this point, just so she's got somewhere obvious and comfortable for her to go when she goes in there. And again, for familiarity, I'm adding a plant that was in her previous enclosure. She's used to sit on top of that when she was much smaller, but you'll see she's got a fair bit bigger when we see her in this video. So yeah, just pushing the substrate down. Tarantulas don't like to walk on soft substrate. I'm trying to layer up a bit at the back of the enclosure so there's not too much height for Fluffy to fall from if she did fall. I've also added a skull from her old enclosure and her water dish from her old enclosure. Now, even though the general consensus is to keep the curly hair tarantulas dry, I do overflow the water dish on occasion and just have a little moist corner just in case she shows a preference for it or gravitates towards it. Just sprinkling some moss and some leaves there to make it look a bit more naturalistic. Moving on to the actual rehouse, Fluffy has got a hell of a lot bigger in her last moult, so felt she needed a bigger enclosure. She has wedged and dug herself into this corner hide, so you can see I've got my catch cup, my tongs and my brush, everything for a safe rehousing. Now, even though Fluffy is docile for the most part, she has been known to flick hairs, and I try to respect every tarantula or animal I come into contact with, and also it breeds good habits in that I'm not going to just absent-mindedly handle an old world while I rehouse it. So I'm just about to take a look under her hide now and see how she is. I don't know why I'm gesticulating so much with my hands. I think I'm auditioning for stage school at this point, but yeah, here we go. So immediately I noticed that Fluffy's got quite, not defensive body language, incredibly timid body language, and that's something as well to really note with tarantulas, that their temperaments can change. She used to be quite bold. There were occasions she did actually walk out onto my hand when I was doing maintenance, trying to stop her get out of the enclosure. But now she's totally the opposite, incredibly timid. So I'm just trying to get her into the catch cup here, which is a bit awkward because of the corner. So I'm just going to try a different approach, because the last thing you want to do is stress the poor little things out. So she's being quite good here. She does go into the catch cup readily, and it should be quite an easy transfer, as you can see there, to her new enclosure. And it's just a case of nudging her out into that enclosure as gently as you can. She did flick a couple of hairs, but in terms of behaviour she was excellent, as she usually is. And there she is, she's settled. And this is just me now grabbing a camera to try and get some shots while she is where she is, and I'll flash a few of those up for you now. And no enclosure is ever complete or official without me adding the cute name tag, so she definitely knows that's her crib. And to finish, a few shots of the completed enclosure, a little bit of a pan around just so you can see how it looks. If you've got any questions about the enclosures or the tarantula, anything at all, just feel free to drop me a message on here. Always happy to chat, and thanks for watching.